Welcome to Modern Leadership Live, where we create collaborative conversations to connect our company cultures and our world community. I'm your host, Nina Segura, and today I'm super excited to have Claudio Sorrento here with me. He is the CEO and founder of Body Details. He is a keynote speaker, the venture mentoring team founding mentor, and I'm super glad Claudio is here. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Claudio, what do you think the world needs more now than ever as it relates to leadership?
I think today's leader really needs to have a better focus on leveraging data and technology more than anything else. The technological revolution has truly changed the way companies are managed. No longer do leaders have to guess as to performance metrics and key performance indicators, who's performing, who's not. That used to be a lot. I mean, most of that was done by feel. You kind of thought this person was performing. The best leaders today just watch the data, make decisions based on the data, and utilize that data to the best of their ability to be successful. Jeff Bezos spoke about this when his company stock was trading at $3. He said, "I don't care what our company's not the stock, because right now all the data metrics that he measured showed that they were selling high volume per customer, large quantity of variation of items per customer." So he knew his company was ultra strong because he had data that nobody else had. And so as a business owner, when you're managing everything from a call center to a sales team to customer service, you no longer have to say, "Oh, did that go well?" You can look at your complaints over time. You can look at the responses of those complaints. Do the people who complain now buy and add new areas? Do they buy more over time? So that in and of itself, the data tells you the success of your team. And the companies that are going to win and the leaders that are going to be the most successful are going to be the ones who not only take the data in most effectively, but also the ones who then are able to read the data and deploy fixes and change as a result of what they're seeing the fastest and the most efficiently.
That's so good. So basically not believing stories, not, really looking at the data that matters.
Right. And I think, it's just moving toward a meritocracy based on data in today's day and age. It's no longer, well, I like her. Is she performing, yes or no? Is he performing, yes or no? And with data, it's irrefutable. The other thing that I love about this is it makes for much easier conversations. When you talk to someone, it's no longer, well, I tried and this is my excuse. The data stands. If you're selling at a 20% conversion ratio and somebody else is at an 80, the data proves who's better. It's not a question of, there's no longer a feel or a sensation of, oh, maybe I like you and you seem better and you talk a good game. Numbers don't lie. But the benefit to this also works with your vendor relationships, with your advertising. If I'm spending money, are my costs going up and my leads going down, or is it the reverse? Is my costs going down and my leads going up? So great, you're either performing or you're not performing. We don't have to have this buddy, you got to be my friend relationship anymore. Give me the data, support the argument, and that's the end of it. And so much of past business interactions were around, oh, do you know this person? Let me take you to lunch. Don't take me to lunch. Show me the data that shows you're killing it for me, and we're going to be long-term partners.
So it sounds like you also want to focus on having the best employee for your business, like hiring A players.
Right. So in this case, it's really, I firmly believe in the old adage where you hire slow and fire fast. I think that's a fundamental aspect. I think performers perform and tend to perform right away. And non-performers tend to not perform and tend to make excuses right away. Now, because of data, you can see that performance much more rapidly than you used to. We had team members before that we would hire and they would be here 6 months before we realized they were sort of underperformers. Now, because of the data sets that we built into our internal systems, we can tell if you're a performer in 2 weeks. It makes it a lot easier for us to, hiring is always mythical. I'm convinced that hiring is always going to be this sort of magical thing that no one has ever figured out how to always hire the right person, because there's too many factors that make human beings unique that you can't see. And interviews are generally poor indicators of performance. But I think you can get to the point where you really do fire more quickly. So when the person is the wrong fit, you get rid of them more rapidly and gives you an opportunity to try and replace them with someone better, sooner. I think that's sort of the magic of data. As soon as data gets to the point where they can do better predictive analytics and tell me who's going to be a rock star before I hire them, that'll be a game changer for the world to see. And whoever invents that's going to be a billionaire. But I'm waiting for that still. Exactly.
What do you think are some paradigms that get in the way of what you're saying?
I think it's cost prohibitive for a lot of companies to manage data on a customized basis. There's a lot of off-the-shelf platforms out there that A, they all have fees, and B, not all of them are built for the specific needs of your individual business. So it's hard to sort of buy a software out there or pay a monthly fee for a software out there that may do some of what you need, but not all of what you need. So great businesses have, and cash flush businesses have the capacity to invest in software systems that give them the exact data they need. But I would say to most budding entrepreneurs, particularly new entrepreneurs, that use what you have. I mean, we used to track everything on Excel spreadsheets. We did our whole financials for 3 years on nothing but Excel spreadsheets, like not QuickBooks, not nothing, just literally print a bank statement, put it in Excel, and go through it back and forth and verify the information. So, if that's the best you got right now, any interpretation of data is better than ignoring the data. So I just suggest people do whatever you can, whether it's on a notepad or on a whiteboard in your office, track everything you can. And then as you get more successful and have more cash, make the investments necessary to have better data, because better data is going to make you more successful in the long run.
What do you think about people who have built a business with their loyal team and they feel a sense of loyalty to the people who brought them there, but they don't think that same team can get them to the next level?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think it's like anything else. If change is hard and evolution requires either adaptation or death, that's just fundamentally how it works. And so if you're in a company, I understand the concept of loyalty. We have some of our team members, one of them's been here 14 years. And there's been some rough times through some of the transitions as the company's grown that she's gone through to really, go to the next level, because we all are creatures of comfort. We all get used to the things that we're doing every day. We become creatures of routine. And when the company needs to make a major shift, it's hard if you've been doing something a certain way and potentially even successfully for a long time to jump and make that change. So the only thing I can say to people in that circumstance is, I get the concept of loyalty, but it's not up to them. They have to give the team members that they have the opportunity to either rise to that opportunity or realize that they don't fit anymore. And so that's the only thing they can do. You cannot hinder your future growth and all of the benefits that you're going to be providing the world and all the future people you would hire if you were a bigger, stronger, larger company. You do more good for the world than being loyal to that one person that holds your entire company back. So they just have to recognize, I suggest you give them that opportunity, but if they can't make it, it should be a mutual understanding at that point.
Love it. So good. What's one bold prediction you have for the future?
I think there's going to be, I think everybody has said this, but I think there's going to be massive shifts with regard to automation. But I do not think it's going to eliminate the workforce, as they say. I think it's just going to shift the workforce, as it always has. When there were still switchboard operators and the phone came out, people were like, that's it. You're going to just eliminate the jobs of every switchboard operator. What are we going to do? And there were different jobs. So I just feel like people have to recognize that no job is secure. No job is future-proof. What is future-proof is adaptability. So if you're a person and you're willing to adapt to any circumstance, you will never be out of a job. You just have to recognize that if your job goes, you live in a world where you don't need a college education. You have access to information on the internet that like never before. I can get a PhD in biology right now just by Googling things. So if you're a person your job is phasing out of a skill set, well, take yourself to the internet and phase yourself into a new one, because the world is going to change, period. And so companies are moving that way, and your best bet is to just make sure you're adaptable for the future environment.
So good. Claudio, thank you so much for joining today, and good luck on your new location. Thank you so much. You have some good insight. Wish we had more time, but
Absolutely.
if you'd like to join the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. Just click below, and you can also find out more about Claudio in the description. Talk to you soon. Bye.